Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Terra Cactus. Slowly, Wolfgang turned to me, straightened with his shoulders. What do you want? His behavior and questions were surprising me more and more with each second. I need cigarettes. If you haven't given them to Helga yet, I can do that myself. That'd be for the best, I guess. I could hear the pages rustling. Wolfgang borrowed his notebook even deeper. I thought he wasn't listening to me at all. Suddenly he started mumbling. It says here they're in the right pocket. He reached into his pocket while containing to read and pulled out a felt-lifted pack of cigarettes. It's all worn and crumpled. It's a challenging journey for being passed from hand to hand between Helga's comrades and left evident in danger on it. Is that it? Yes, thank you. Wolfgang didn't answer and just went past me while still reading his mysterious text carefully. What happened to him? Why was he acting like that? I still had a lot of time to learn their quirks. It made me ask unnecessary questions that were standing way between my search for the past and were many mysterious. Absolutely no answers. Helga was sitting by the table, her hands crossed, and examining phone half-heartedly. My presence didn't cause a reflection from her. It even took her some time to look up. I approached her and handed over the pack of cigarettes. Here, you asked me to bring you these. She took it reluctantly and turned from her side to side in front of her eyes. Where did you fish it out from? What the hell? What happened? Helga didn't answer, sprang to her feet and ran to the window. While she was desperately trying to figure out what was going on outside, we all could already hear people shouting from the hall. Form a line, quickly! Oliver's silhouette showed out the doorway and split for a second. Helga reacted at once without explaining anything. She leapt to me and gripped me tightly by the shoulder and pushed me into the hall. All the soldiers who had honored to meet their day formed a line. The only one missing was Eliza. I was standing in the very next. Hans split for the second. Every soldier who gathered there turned their gaze to me. I could only see suspicion in their eyes. The sounds of the siren would not stop. I was getting more and more nervous by the second. Why was everyone so quiet? What was going on? Just before I could ask those questions aloud, Oliver showed up around the corner. He looked a bit tense, and his voice sounded confident and serious. We're under attack. They blew the northern wall and through it. About 11 men broke through. The permanent camped the territory. Nobody expected that. We weren't ready. A dozen soldiers were sent from the site of the explosion. Their threat attacked the southern wall. Elissa conducted an intelligence department right now. Things look good. Forces are uneven. You have a minute to get ready, and later we will be gathering in the strategic room. Elissa will be waiting for you there. We will explain our strategy and we'll stick it in firmly. There's no time, and we strictly need to follow the instructions. Everyone was silent and just listening intently. Perhaps this was called Special Squad for a good reason, even though I hadn't noticed any outstanding skills among them at first sight. It's up to our hands now. This battle will show who has the advantage of force. Any questions? What will we do with Nemo? He's our traitor. Nemo will fight with us. We can't make any conclusions right now. And Commander? Commander is the rest of the soldiers right now. Nobody spoke another word. Oliver nodded and started preparing hastily, and then rushed to the basement that he told us about. The ceiling of the room was quite low. Helga and Wolfgang even had to bow their heads slightly, so they wouldn't hit the beams that were sticking out. Elsa leaned forward to the table in the center, running 2 fingers over the map and then lying there. He lifted up when he was bared and margin in the room. There's an ambush near the camp. Come here. I will show you our plan. We closed around Elsa, and that's when I noticed the relief on the map. No wonder every blind person could read it. At the moment we were attacking by 11 men, they blew up the northern wall right here. This is where we sent our soldiers. Our commander is with them. Moreover, the intelligence has reported that at the time there's an ambush behind the southern wall. There's at least 30 enemies there. We have other 28 soldiers. Our forces are uneven. 100 of the soldiers left the camp in the morning, and our enemy is figured that out somehow and used this opportunity to attack. What? Where did they go? Not now, Nemo. There's no time. Continue, Elsa. But we have to explain to him. He might start doubting us. Oh, damn it. What bad timing. Some of them aren't agitation on the trip headquarters, and some of them are scouting. Nothing really stays here long except for us. Up until today, nobody managed to discover this camp, and we thought we wouldn't be easy. The explanation made me angry. Are you not afraid to leave the camp empty, completely unguarded? What about supplies, weapons? What if they found and destroyed? Don't talk nonsense. We're keeping everything in the basements. We made them. It's the only thing to get through the barracks. I wouldn't be so sure. Another explosion has thundered outside. Most likely it blew up the southern wall. We need to hurry. Let's listen to Elsa has to say. The rest of it can wait. We all leaned over the map once again. Let's consider that our enemy broke through both sides in the north and south. But if I'm concerned right now with another ambush to the west, the east would be another attack. I've talked to the commander, and at the moment he has the advantage and then a significant one. The commander is waiting for reinforcements. Is that it? Then why the hell are we gathering here? We could have been fighting already. Elsa remained calm, but he was looking in front of himself. His fingers were twitching. He was running them over the map and looking as if something. No, I've told you already. We should expect another attack from the west and the east, but for now there is just my speculations. Sending soldiers there would be unreasonable for now. The 3 of you should be able to help at the northern wall, and the other 3 should help at the southern wall. What about the rest? Nemo, Hans, and I will go to the radio cabin, and we'll send a message to headquarters. Oliver, give me the key. You shouldn't have locked the door there today. How could I know? Oliver started jangling the keys in one of them and held out to Elsa. Nemo will be watching for the eastern wall, and if an enemy attacks there, the first thing we're going to do is destroy the radio cabin. Hans will then put me in front of the headquarters and deliver the message. After that, all 3 of us will join you. What if we should do about the western wall, if it really is attacked from there? For now, we wouldn't want to do anything. The moment those are just my assumptions. Just keep in mind our plan might change on the way. There's another thing Commander wanted us all talk about. Elsa, keep quiet for a bit. Don't die. Not one of you. The silence had fallen while disturbing Helga. She banged the table, and her first using her strength, then furrowed her brow, either from the pain or anger. Damn it, you keep doing that whenever you want, but you won't stay here any longer. I'm going outside. I am a soldier. I will stay one until the end of the war, even if I don't live long enough to see it. Oh, my dear girl, as always with you. Ruth showed a dazzling smile with her arms around Helga's waist, which made Helga's expression even darker. When I heard Ruth say that, I accidentally noticed Wolfgang's intense gaze watching them from behind his notebook. We could hear the sound of heavy steps tinkering in the room. Oliver showed up in the doorway. He was smiling cheerfully for some reason. He hadn't even noticed his absence. I opened the armory. Take the gears and you only take yours. Wolfgang, Doris, and Yakov will go to the northern wall. Ruth, Helga, and I will go to the southern wall. Nemo, Hans, Lisa will go to the radio cabin. The rest of us will deal with it on site. No heroics for you this time. Elissa, follow the commander's orders. Ellis nodded subtly. Helga was the first to leave. Ruth hurried behind her. Of course, Nemo has no weapon. Borrow him from your revolvers. You will think of something else later. Okov pointed his fingers at me and looked at Oliver with a slight sneer. He might be the very reason behind this attack. You want me to give him and maybe kill one of us with my own weapon? Oliver's expression became miserable. We've agreed we won't make any premature conclusions. That's the only one left in the room except Yalkov and Oliver and me. We were those two had no time to waste, debating. Even like me, I wasn't a real soldier. I felt irritated and something was making up my mind quickly. I've already told you I'm not a traitor. I don't know anybody, and I don't remember anything. I haven't even had a single opportunity to send any messages. I don't plan to cite at all the time. Yalkov bruised his lips and narrowed his eyes, and then poked a revolver in my chest through a gritting teeth. Just remember, I have another one. I won't hesitate to find it if you were lying. I'll believe you for now. Take it. Thank you for trusting me. I took the revolver in my hands and looked at it from all sides. You know how to use it. I think I'll manage. He nodded and watched me and tucked it under the belt behind his back with sadness in his eyes. Hans' worried face appeared in the doorway. Nemo, let's go. Help him protect Elis. Oliver and Yalkovich exchanged looks and then ran out from the barracks. The sky grew dark. Everything around was covered in clouds of smoke. Dust were flying in the air. We could hear screams, bullet whizzing past. Human silhouettes were flushing around like shadows. My heart was beating madly, and I saw the world double. I could forget what was on which side I was. Suddenly, someone laid their hand on my shoulder and pulled me in a stupor. Elis. Nemo, let's go. As strange as it was, his calm voice made me come to my senses and pull myself together. Where should we go? Follow me. Stay quiet. Saying it quietly, he darted off into the cloud of smoke. We rushed after him. We didn't expect such dexterity from the blind soldier. We saw Hans coming from the view somewhere to my right, as he was viewing my hands and yelling, "Take care of Elise!" Elise's white uniform was gradually fading in the gray smoke clouds. I was afraid to lose sight of him, afraid of the carelessness, afraid I could get shot. The sand was blinding me. I was nearing eyelids, covering my eyes with my sleeve. Another explosion made me shiver. I started running a bit faster. Elise was getting less and less visible. The next moment, another sound joined the shrieks and the roaring guns. It was so close. Elise screamed, "Hans!" I saw him dashing for another one, and right next to him another dark spot spinning around. An enemy? I rushed over to the rescue without hesitation. I stumbled on one painful and fell on my side. Something was clutching my ankle. I tried jerking my leg and the grip was only getting stronger. Worthless scum. I raised myself an elbow, looking towards the source of these words. There was a man lying on his feet, half his face was covered in blood mixed with dirt and dust. His eyes could see disgust and hatred and fear. How can he wipe out a lot, manipulating over and over? I don't have enough forces. His voice and hoarseness, breathing heavily. The hand was clutching me, my only limb left. The soldier was barely alive, but against the background of his dirty face, the whitenings of his eyes were blazing with hatred. I couldn't take my eyes from the despite of it itself. Once again, I could hear someone fighting behind me. Elise. I kicked out the enemy from the heel of my boot with all my strength I could gather, and grip got weaker. I still couldn't free my leg. I started jerking out. Die already, come on! Suddenly my wish was granted. My leg was finally free. Hans was towering over the enemy and cautiously looking at me with his hands were clutching into fists. You okay, Nemo? Exhaling an unwilling, shifted gaze on my defeated enemy, he was lying on his stomach, palm limping, resting on my leg. He was unnaturally twisted to the left. He is fighting someone. Hans flinched and dashed forward. He was wasted. He didn't waste time either. Bruised elbows were burning the pain and writhing, unurging forward. I noted Elias and Hans were getting really close. He was lying on his back and tried pushing the enemy to his clutches on his neck, with both hands with him in his cane. Hans got to them first without any hesitation. He grabbed the unaware enemy by his head, and with a firm moment he sharply twisted it to the right side. Crunch. The man's body got weak. His hands were just hanging limply. Right after we could hear Alyssa's loud, dry cough, Hans helped him up, while he was watching the scene around me with terror. Death, one after another. I was overpowered by mixed feelings. It was hard to grasp or analyze. I followed Hans and Elias over the steps and approaching the wooden building. Elise had passed the keys to Hans to unlock the door. When I got inside, I relaxed a bit. Elias and Hans looked much more composed, compared to how I felt. Turn the radio set on. Hans started turning around the room, looking at all the devices, and then he put one of the headphones and started setting up the frequency. Elias was standing still staring in front of himself, flat-eyed. Done. Elias turned towards the voice and his gaze and glued one spot. Hans helped him put the headphones on and brought a microphone to his mouth. While we were waiting for the connection, I looked outside through the big window. Dust was slowly starting to settle. You could only see a path that was followed to get there. The sounds outside the radio cabin were reverberated. It was a hollow rumble. The only thing I could hear clearly was Alice's voice and started transmitting the message. Hans approached me. Were you scared? No, or yes. It felt like I would already happened before, as if I took a part in these battles before. It seemed to me you were scared, especially the man holding by your leg. Perhaps you're right. I have some mixed feelings. Thank you for saving me back there. Don't be afraid, and don't be scared of us either. Suddenly, he took hesitant and lowered his head guiltily. What does that mean? Why would I be afraid of you? You have amnesia after all, and I thought maybe you're scared. I had nothing to say to that. Surprisingly, Hans turned forward far and be more insightful than I was. The next second, Alice came to us. I've sent a message. Reinforcements will be here soon. Our soldiers are somewhere close by. They should be heard in the explosions. I hope they do in time. They should. It's been quite a while since their first explosion. Alice turned around for the first ahead of the door. He was still very impressed how he managed to show up such a good sense of direction without much effort. Just how many times did he put past here to remember precise placement of all the objects and size of the room? Alice let me go first. Don't worry, there is no one around. All the soldiers went to the western wall. I could hear that.
still. Hans went about and extended his arm. First, Ilias already opened the door with one firm movement, stopped, listening closely for a moment. Only after that he made a step outside. What happened next was completely surprising to everyone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to leave off here. I'll see you in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.